How's everybody doing? Okay, now we are getting ready to do the woman's chart. How to understand the moon in Pisces woman. Okay, so let's jump right on it. Now, I started, but I hope y'all don't mind. I've been honored enough to drink my drink, but I gotta roll me a joint. Now, you all know. Let me go with my little tray with my little bamboo. And as I do it, because, Pisces rules drugs. So, what better time than to roll up now? Oh, Lord. Now, listen, of course, weed is far more healthier, than the alcohol, right? But understand, I've been working since 7 o'clock this morning and it's almost 4. It's a job doing these videos. It's 25 minutes, but it's hours of preparation to, as far as research and information. And then I got to get myself together, the outfit, I got to doll up and all that stuff. It's a show. It's a presentation. That's my Leo presence in my birth chart. Otherwise, you guys might get bored. So I got to keep it fun and entertaining. No? We need Leo in the human condition, where we can look back and see the beauty of nature and of creation. Right? Like I mentioned already in my Moon in Leo video. So, understand that with the Moon in Pisces female, we are dealing with an insatiable creature of a woman, a vixen, Lady Chatterley. Remember the movie of the 1970s, Lady Chatterley's Lovers? Lady Chatterley. Well, the Moon in Pisces woman is a Lady Chatterley. And those of you who are below age 50 are not going to understand what I'm talking about. But take a chance to find out who Lady Chatterley was. And there was a lot of R-rated movies and even porno movies about Lady Chatterley, based on the French movies, but it was based on a British novel. Lady Chatterley. Lady Chatterley, Lady Chatterley's lover. It should be lover because she slept around. And she generally loved every single one of these men that she fucked. Just like somebody takes a lick of a cream from a pie. That's how she found men. All kinds of men. She truly had a healthy libido for men. This is Lady Chatterley. This is Pisces woman, or the moon in Pisces. Okay? Toast to that level of high sensuality. Well, not sensuality, sexuality. Because with the moon in Pisces woman, you could touch her on the knee lightly and she's already orgasming or becoming moist. She's full of sensual, she's almost overstimulating when it comes to the 5 senses. Like Miss Taurus. These women can respond to all kinds of sensations and feelings, however subtle or however aggressive. And let's not discuss what she goes through in her mind. She may be fucking you, but in her mind fucking another nigga. And you're not, you know what I'm saying? Of course, all women do this, and all men do this, and mentally. We always take different people to bed when we're in bed with someone physically. You know, that always spells a little trouble if it happens for too long, right? But is it normal? Is it part of the human natural pubescence? Absolutely. And Pisces represents uncomfortable truth when it pertains to human lust and human desire, which also falls under the moon in Pisces. So, having said that, as I roll up my joint, let us go into the specifics concerning the personality and the ego structure of the human female born with the moon in Pisces. And I always gotta take it's almost like, and cut. It's a little image. It has to be like it's so performance and cut, But everything has a formula and everything has a process. The creative process, well, that's what they call it, the creative process. The creative process, even though it falls under Leo, it culminates as a final act of creativity when the moon culminates in Pisces. Okay? The moon in Pisces is also, it's inclined to make you romantic. It makes you romantic. The moon in Pisces woman is dreamy, sultry, nostalgic, romantic, clandestine, hypersensitive, and hyper beautiful. She is like a mermaid or a sea nymph incarnated as a human being. There was a movie by Daryl Hannah and Tom Hanks in the 80s. I think it was called Splash. Tom Hanks and Daryl Hannah called Splash in the 1980s. I think it was 1980 or 81, where this mermaid washed up from the ocean and she spoke. I remember watching the movie, and she fell in love with Tom Hanks. It's a romantic love story, but her beauty was so intoxicating and so infectious that everybody wanted a piece of her. And Tom Hanks, who played the character that he played, had to fight to keep her from the clutches of the men that wanted to devour her because she was just otherworldly. She came from the ocean. What a movie that was. You know, the 80s, which was the Leo generation, created a lot of movies that were so romantic and so antithetical that when you look back at my age, I'm so happy and so proud to have been raised in the 80s. It truly was a beautiful, romantic, and exciting time. There will never be another decade like it. I love the 80s of every century. Study it. That's the Leo period. The best of humanity and the worst comes out during this period. Okay? You almost feel guilty for having a woman like that. A woman that will do anything to you in bed and will be the woman. She fits, remember, it's Pisces. So she's all 12 women in one. She will be your mother. She'll be your sister. She'll be your lover. She will play every single role that a woman plays when in relating to a man. She will make you fall in love with her and make you think about her day and night. She's almost like a witch. She like Scorpio woman or the Virgo woman. These are the three witches of the zodiac: Virgo, Pisces, and Scorpio. And a man that finds himself in the bed of these women better know what he's doing. And if he does, it'll be the ride of his life. If he doesn't, let's leave that book open and see how merciful and charitable these women are willing to be to train a man to be optimal and deliver according to these women's desires. These women's they live on ideals. They live on antithetical laws that are quite different than the laws of primary. They have their own judgment criteria that might be different than other women of the other moon signs. With Scorpio being less forgiving, and Scorpio women are not willing to train a man to do anything. He has to come ready made. Oh, he cannot. The Scorpio woman will not want anything to do with that kind of man. That needs to be trained. But the other women will openly take him and raise him up to be the man that he should be. These women are healers. The Scorpio woman too. But in this area of sex, no. She wants the man to really know what he's doing and be ready. Because she got no time to train anyone. And this is also true of the Leo woman, the Leo moon woman. And you have to understand why, you know. These women function on high idealism. And God forbid that you don't match or meet those ideals. It's like bursting a bubble. And when you burst the bubble, now what you thought you had in front of you is not really what's in front of you. So you have to be careful with Pisces. No, both the man and the woman. But the woman, she's such a delight with the moon in Pisces. Such a delight. She loves romantic music, love songs. She can spend the entire day listening to sad music or romantic music, music that deals with love and courtship, almost like the moon in Leo. That innocent puppy love and the whole psychology of the courtship game and the conquest game. You know, Pisces is the rescuer, but a lot of times she needs rescuing herself. The Pisces is willing, ready, and able to rescue anybody. The problem is, who's there to rescue her? Usually nobody. Out of all the signs of the zodiac, the woman with the moon in Pisces suffers so much letdown and disappointment that I don't know how she doesn't, go crazy. But that is a testament to her strength. The woman with the moon in Pisces is a lot tougher than what she appears. And this catches men by surprise. It seems like when I move to certain angles, I lose light. Oh, yeah. Hey! And I know it's output in me. When I see lights, oh, time to act. I know the narcissism. I'm getting better. I'm getting better. So understand that the moon in Pisces woman can be a sparrow. She's very fearful of a lot of things. She will never admit this to you. Here's something else that the moon in Pisces woman is intrinsically afraid of. She's afraid of aggressive men. She loves men. She could eat them up like candy bars. But that's one fish going one way. The opposite fish going the other way is fearful of men, terrified of men. And this woman with the moon in Pisces or even with the sun in Pisces at some point experiences a certain level of sexual abuse, molestation, or rape. It usually comes with the territory when you're born as a woman with the moon in Pisces. It can be a very tough incarnation to be born under the moon in Pisces as a woman. Development happens late in life. You know? Okay, the spirit is here. We're going to jump into more detail and let it settle. No, no gin. No gin. I don't offer them gin. Gin is too demonic. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. And it is a typical Piscean drink, along with cognac and whiskey and all that stuff. The Pisces woman is mystical, psychic, intuitive. She sees trajectories of the future when she meets people. She sees everything about them, the good, the bad, and the ugly. This is why men are very afraid of the Pisces woman. Well, you can see her looking at you, and you know that she's figuring things out. You can also know when she wants to tear your clothes apart and just rape you. The Pisces woman gives you this look, and again, that left eye. There's a gleam in her eye, almost it's Luciferian. Every woman that I meet that's a moon in Pisces or has a Pisces sun, and she gives me that look, I almost always know that there's desire, sexual desire, because she's a very sexual woman. And if you don't get that look from her, she's not interested in you. And like it shines. And I used to tell guys, yo, don't you see her looking at you? Don't you see that gleam in her eye? And they're like, no, what are you talking about? I'm like, damn, these guys are dumb. But it's not that they're dumb. I was young though. They are not allowed to see. They're not allowed to see. I'm allowed to see you. And I know when a woman has a desire for a man, and when a man has a desire for a woman, and vice versa, all of that, it's extremely obvious in the human female born with the moon in Pisces. Like the moon in Scorpio. She already figured you out from head to toe. From head to toe. And if you're not good for her, she will know it also. But she'll still fuck with you if you're cute and you got a body. And it's even better if he has some money. Even though the Pisces woman doesn't sleep with a man for money and doesn't care about his criteria, if she's turned down by him, and he could be a bum sleeping on a bench. If he's good looking enough, she'll fuck him right there on that bench. You know, she's driven by inner desires and passions that are not clearly understood by many astrologers. Remember, this mysterious woman is ruled by Neptune. And what did I say? Neptune was not part of our solar system. It's a planet that comes from another system which we know nothing about. So the Pisces woman is a mystery, an enigma. She truly represents the Alpha and the Omega. And the Bible in the book of Revelations has many symbolic references to the harlot, the woman in red, the woman that sits on the moon. I mean, there's a lot of references biblically and in other spiritual doctrines that confer the mystery of the woman. And when we see the woman depicted in this type of light, contrast to the Mother Teresa, which is more of the Virgo polarity. The great harlot, Jezebel, Lilith, is Pisces, the opposite of the Saint Mother Teresa, Virgin Mary, Our Lady of Guadalupe, Our Lady of Sorrows, Our Lady of the Rule, and all the images and symbols attributed to the feminine, which is ascribed to Virgo. The opposite polarity of the Piscean age that is currently coming to a close. For Aquarius, the transit polarity will be Leo. Right? So it's almost like returning to the age of Leo. You know? And I like that. I like that. I like the age of Leo. You know, it's glamorous, luxurious, full of beautiful people, fun. Remember, it's looking back at the beauty of creation. You know, Leo is the reason for living, and this is exalted in Pisces, the moon in Pisces. It is the golden child of Antioch, the divine child of Christ, the violent flame of the purple heart, as defined by the Rosicrucians and the Carmelites. Hey, so understand that when we reach Pisces, the moon in Pisces, she lives an inner world full of sex, drugs, debauchery, men falling all over the place, and women too, because she is bisexual as well. You know, it's about sensation, it's about pleasure, and total descent of spirit into material matter and experiencing all the delicious, decadent, sinful desires of the flesh. That is the moon exalted in Pisces. It's like when you do the flute when the cobra comes out and the cobra is almost dancing, swaying. You know, that is a sensuality. That is the moon in Pisces. You gotta entice the cobra to come out of the barrel, you know, with that flute. And you have to know how to do it right. It's all about the courtship and how you wield in that cobra. And if you stop playing and aggravate it, it will jump out of that thing and go out and bite you and kill you. Be careful. Not all fishes are cute. The great white, the hunchback whale, the orca. They're mammals, except for the shark. The shark is still a fish. People forget that. It's not a mammal. And it is the apex predator in the high seas. It will kill a whale, even though it has to be a great white of a certain magnitude, though. But it's still an apex predator. So don't sleep on Pisces. The Pisces woman is highly vindictive. You slight her, she'll get you back. They say karma's a bitch. It is. But the Pisces moon woman is a bigger bitch than karma. So be careful in slighting her. Because she is vindictive. She'll get you back. Okay. Oh, what did I do here? I don't know what I did. I don't know what I did. I lost the page. I lost the page. Okay, I have to go back to it. That's the devil. The devil does that. So understand. Let's go back to the bookmark. I think I bookmarked it. Okay, here we go. 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 No, I'm missing it. So I'm not going to spend time on it. Okay, let me go back to it. The moon in Pisces woman requires a certain level of security and safety in the arms of a man. She needs to feel protected. So she often goes for weak men that she feels will protect her because she doesn't want to be dominated by a man. Sexually, she loves a man dominating her, pulling her hair and all that kind of stuff. But outside the bed, she don't want a man to dominate her. Not at all. And she's terrified of being with a strong man because she feels that he might overpower her. So she goes for weak men. But in her mind, in her fantasies, she'll sleep with any man that asserts virility and masculinity and strength. But she won't go for the real man in actual practice. So afraid she is of being dominated and of being controlled by the men that sleep with her. Okay? She could be a woman that is also sexually immature. A woman that needs healing in the sexual department. You know? Or she could be a woman that is sexually immature. Or a woman who has been molested or sexually tampered with. And that creates a psychology of the whore or the old crone, depending on the severity of the abuse. This is where, again, it gets complex. And we cannot then generalize. It's a case-by-case basis when we're talking along these lines. Okay, she sometimes doesn't even know that she's walking around with trauma, and it isn't until she's much older, in hindsight, that she gets to see that the choices that she had made and the experiences that she has gone through have actually molded her life. It isn't until she takes a pause and stops and sees how her own reactions to life has weaved a cocoon that has encased her inside, making her repeat the same patterns over and over again because it's familiar and there's safety with the familiar, even if the familiar proves to be dysfunctional. That's why you have a lot of Piscean women and men that seem to be comfortable in areas of dysfunctionality, whether the dysfunction is in sex or in how to balance a checkbook or how to raise their children or their own impulses of self-control. You know, it really depends. But the moon in Pisces woman is like a child. She's a child, but what a beautiful child she is. She doesn't understand her own brilliance and her own genius because Pisces is retiring energy, is the return back to the womb, is inactive. It is the contemplation of our death and then our journey back or beyond. So that's a lot to say about that. And we're done with part 1. Make sure you call me at 347-485-6258 for a reading. And we're going to go right into part 2.